Slav youth, under 18, the police can't do not much, you know. Just slap in the hand and they arrested and released the same day. Well, in this village of Radishan, election night, family of Zechiri, which is 16 people, they had a record of being attacked by the Macedonian Slavs. Throughout the years, maybe tens of times, their house was surrounded, yelling ethnic slurs, throwing stones, breaking their windows, beating up their kids after school, openly saying, you know, Albanians, get out of here, this is not your area, move out of here, you know. Every time they called the police failed to show up. 13th of April this year, election night, this is a group of about over 20 Macedonian who actually came right off the voting poll, and some of them were partisans of Gruevski's party, you know, went, surrounded the house, and they start same over again. They called the police, nobody showed up. They attempted to burn the house. The next day, the family decided they leave. Actually, they asked the German government to give them refugee status, which was granted by them, and moved to Germany. You know, and this was, I mean, it came up a lot of, the question even the Albanian parties about this, why they are not raising their voice. There was no answer to that. Albanian media gave it some attention, nobody else, nor the Gruevski government. So this has been going on.
This has been going on, I think, for a long time.
For a long time.
Again and again.
Repeated and repeated, you know. It's, and there has to be some hate crime law in Macedonia as well.
But there's also no response from Albanian politicians to this
Exactly.
as well. So
Exactly.
we still, that's still a major factor in this.
The
Because
factor is the corruption, you know.
Yeah.
The Gruevski bought these Albanian politicians, you know, and it's silent.
Well, no, I really want to go back to the fact that it's going to have, there's going to have to be pressure inside the country. That's one thing. And the other thing is, unless people, I've said this again and again, as you know, get the information, exact information, the real, you know, really follow the standards, Western standards of journalism, we're going to accomplish nothing. There have been major incidents this summer in Macedonia, where, and including involving some U.S. citizens, where the information presented was so inadequate that not a single member of Congress or their staffs would want to pay attention to it. So there's a real obligation there to begin to document everything and get it to, you know, people like us and others who really want to present this information, and we can, you know how to craft it in a way that makes sense, whether it's in, I'll take it in Albanian, we'll get it translated, but we don't have it. So you constantly hear this cry, oh, we're having terrible times, you know, Macedonia is bad for Albanians. That's not an argument. By the way, I was just thinking, you know, just if you don't mind going on for a second back to Agim, you were making fabulous points about Kosova and that the connection, right, to Macedonia, Montenegro, etc. Would you like to sort of say the last? I know you had a few.
Yeah,
more
I
points,
have a
and
few
then
more things
Mars
to say.
would like to speak about Montenegro, and then you know why not?
Yeah, no
Because
problem.
we can get this, you know, on paper. We can add other people's comments.
Well, the reason why I put the Russian connection is that Serbs and Macedonians are continuing to do the same thing, and they are in connection with Russia. Definitely, Russia is you know, exerting her influence in that area, as you said before. They never gave up, you know, the idea about dominating many nations in Europe, you know. So this is it's Slavic regimes coordinating efforts to suppress Albanians everywhere. That is in Montenegro too, because Montenegro is also connected with Serbia, and that is very important now to make it more at this point more to everybody, because now they understand what Russia is doing. They understand how they operate in Ukraine, how they lying, they shoot down the plane, and then they say, oh, no, nothing, yeah, not us, of course. That was, these are the things that have happened always to us and are still happening, and the West should understand with Russia, Serbia, and Macedonia, and Montenegro, only the language of pressure and force works, nothing else. Nothing else. Everything talks. They can talk as much as you want. They can say to you, oh, you are the best. We love you. Albanians should be everything. That's it. After that, they put the knife in your back. They have that policy. They work like that. We worked with them before. In every field, they work like that. It's a culture. It's a culture. Unfortunately, I don't want to say that we should hate all the people, but I'm talking about their leadership. It's always like that, and they are being supported by people. So that's very important connection. Now, of course, I was, also wanted to make a point about the leadership. We are not happy with leadership anywhere, with Albanian leadership now.
Exactly.
In Albania, in Macedonia, in Kosovo, in Montenegro, Preševa, name it. All of them get corrupted somehow. They have no influence. They become somebody. They sit in a chair. Some of them, they make money, corruption, this and that. And I'm not faulting only them. I'm faulting also international community that is letting that happen. And that's why I wanted to make a point that the United States should get more involved, not let the Europe deal. Europe cannot solve anything. Absolutely not. Not that they don't want it. There are good people in Europe. There are smart and politicians and everything. But the influences in Europe are such, when you have all these countries, Greece has its own interests, Spain has its own interests, this and, they are not recognizing Kosovo as a country, you were expecting them to resolve the problem.
Right. Exactly.
And then we were been talking with Serbia, that was my another point. Talking and talking and talking. What did we achieve with all these talks? Nothing.
You mean
There's Kosovo and Serbia. And the first point is, why would you talk with your neighbor about your home? We can talk with Serbs in Kosovo, with them, yes. We can talk, we can discuss with them if they have rights, if they don't have rights, everything. But I don't see any reason why should Albanians from Kosovo accept international pressure to talk with Serbia about our internal problems. We can talk about the borders, how to pass through Serbia to Europe, passports, this and that, visas, trade, everything. But not about the rights of our people.
Tragically, it's too late for that because
I don't know, but maybe we can stop it. I don't know.
Agreed to the Pristina-Belgrade agreement. We have to remember that.
Well, we were against it all the time, Shirley.
The
But
American Civic League, we all know Dana Rohrabacher ran the only hearing in the West.
I'm sorry, we have another.
Yeah, we have another one.
okay.
Oh, no, I
We'll have to
mean,
continue it.
in
Stay
this
for-
room.
Oh, in this
so-
room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
right.
time?
And,
At 2 o'clock. we
Okay.
I
set
just
up-
want to
We just
acknowledge
had a few
Nazim
comments
Alimi.
from,
I just want to say who's here. Nazim Alimi is here. Of those people who have not spoken, Marcin Sulay. Nazim is from Missouri. No, it's important.
Yes, yes.
Marcin Sulay is from the suburbs of Detroit. He is from Atlantic City and its suburbs. You heard from Destin before. Luan Mesreku, and by the way, Marash and Tammy are on our board for many years. Marash, Luan Mesreku, excuse me,
Let him make a
from
comment.
Kansas
Put
City.
that. He's going to say just about Montenegro.
Luan
Put that in front.
Mikola.
Get it on the tape.
Luan Mikola from New York.
Yeah.
Gazan Leshy from Chicago. Saban Gashi from
So, and Maryland.
Maryland now, okay.
Little City from Maryland.
Maryland, okay. I just want to establish that.
Just to get it on the
for record and then quickly if you
Well,
can, because I
thank
know
you, Joe
Sarah's
and
right.
Shirley, and all board members for everything you have done for Albanian cause in the Balkans. I will agree completely what you said about situation in Macedonia, where it's really tragedy today, after so many years, after the Ohrid agreement, what's happening is unacceptable. Same situation is in Montenegro. Situation today is worse than in 2003 when we met Tom Lantos, delegation, met the Congressman Dana Rohrabacher in 2005, and for 20 years Milo Djukanovic been promising Albanians, nothing happened. One thing I can say, it's no hope for Albanians and Montenegro. No hope for you young people who want to be educated, who want equal rights. All in this group agree, you know, I'm nothing more but nothing less. in Montenegro. We want to be equal. We want to succeed in education, culture. It's kind of happening worse today than 20 years ago. Why? I think our politicians are really not doing enough for own people. And it's happening quiet ethnic cleansing. It's less and less activists in Montenegro, Albanian activists. It's not hurting just Albanians. Montenegrin government, or its corrupt government, its mafia government, in fact, they are stopped to become a NATO member because they figure out they have Russian spies in their government. That tells you how bad is Montenegro. And our money, from our government here, we support in Montenegro with blind eyes. It's unacceptable to really, they speak about democracy, but they don't follow up. They have it in the paper, it looks beautiful, but nothing is being implemented. So situation is it's tragically today for Albanians in Montenegro, and it's really sad, and they have only hope. Albanians in Montenegro have only hope, and Albanian Civic League, and hope, and Washington, and in America, not in Europe. They never help us, they never will. They cannot take care of their own problems. And so we really need help. But first, we have our diplomats in Podgorica. They're doing very bad job.
We're gonna say this to the State Department.
We don't get no right
They gotta
information.
reset this room
Yeah,
up for another
now,
day, so we got this.
you really
Thank you.
made everything
Thank you.
very clear.
Thank
you, George.
Thank you.